Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the All the Jewish Jokes Talmud on Stage performance. We are live streaming from Budapest. The local time is 8 p.m. So if it's broad daylight where you are, please don't be surprised to hear us to say good evening or tonight's show. My name is Borcsa Lakos. I'm the founder of Talmud on Stage initiative. So before giving the stage to the actors of tonight, I would like to say a couple of words about the concept behind Talmud on Stage. Talmud, which is ancient Jewish law, is also a collection of thousands of different opinions. Even on one Talmudic page, we may find several opposing opinions, which is really rare in our words, to my mind, to my experience. To listen and to accept other different ideas or different opinions. So when I founded Talmud Not Only for Women, Talmud Now initiative, which became an event series in the course of the years, my idea was to create a program which takes this Talmudic feature, namely to present programs which reflect on as many different opinions as possible. I mean, include as many different opinions as possible. Talmud Now is offering different type of events, interactive lectures, debates, roundtable discussions, and as something new, improvised theater performances called Talmud on Stage. Talmud on Stage is an improvised theater performance which is based on Talmudic tales. It debuted 2 years ago in Hungary, and usually, normally, these events are held offline, of course, in a theater. However, due to the pandemic, we were also forced to move online. On the other hand, this also gave us the opportunity to reach a wider audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a premiere, international premiere of Talmud on Stage. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about the theme of tonight, since this is the time of Purim. I mean, Purim, one of the most cheerful Jewish holidays just passed. So our theme will be the Talmudic humor. And this was chosen by the organizer, partner of tonight's show, Yuval Katz from Vienna, who is the head of the Christian Jewish Dialogue Committee, whatever you may understand. So I think this is the high time to give the stage to the actors of tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me also welcome you on tonight's improv show. My name is Gábor Szőke. I will be the host of the evening, and here sits next to me Zsuzsa Fritz. If you don't mind, I'm just going to address you as Fritzi. Probably everybody knows that that's how they know you, right? So
yeah, many people.
Thanks very much for being here with us. For those who do not know who Zsuzsa is, she is a Jewish educator with a tremendous amount of experience in transferring knowledge about Judaism. Former head of JCC, Budapest Bankhaus, and also director of the summer youth camps in Szarvas in Hungary. Is that correct, Fritzi?
Not really directors, but working there for a long time, yes.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here with us tonight. As Borcsa has already mentioned, we are streaming live from our studio in Budapest. A couple of words about improv. For those who are not very familiar what improv is or what the term means. Every scene, every character, every relationship that you are going to see on stage tonight will come to life in front of your very eyes without the players or without us having any pre-written scripts or textbooks or anything. So everything that you will see on the stage will be based on your ideas and be born at the very moment. The way where we can communicate with each other, I mean you, dear audience, and me as the host of the evening, is the YouTube chat. So may I take this opportunity now to ask you to please put in any kind of greeting, type in any kind of greeting into the chat window just to see if this is really working. Or maybe you can also put in how many people you have around you. So if you are watching the show alone or with the family, and probably also the location where you are at the moment. I can already see like someone joining from abroad. So if you can just put in, I don't know, I start with a Hungarian greeting. Let me just try to put in something, and I can see the comments already coming in. I just put in Sziasztok or something holly golly, like as we say in Szarvas in Békés. I'm from there actually, from the same county. Joining from the United States, well, welcome. I love you. Thanks, Boki. Actually, that was an insider. Okay, Boki is also watching that. Tel Aviv, London, fantastic. So we are very, very happy to have you all here. So this would be the channel that we are going to use when I need your input. I'm going to ask for the input, and then you can type that in. New York again. Good. Yeah, great. Important point, you will see a link in the description of the event, which is a donation link. If you can help us by spending there are preset amounts that you can donate to the show. It's actually, it's a very simple link because it's talmud.hu/donate. So please feel free to do so. Before we start, let me introduce the players of tonight, because it's very difficult to do an improvised theater performance without actors. So we have our dearest actors here. We have Luca, Patty, Shotzi, and Gergő. Hi guys, thanks very much for joining. Whew, I think that was the introduction. Did I miss something?
You're doing very well.
Thank you very much, Christian. I feel much more comfortable now. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for quite some time now. I mean, these Talmud on Stage events. So we've been educated about Talmud and Torah and a couple of things related to that. But for those who are not familiar with the terms, would you just please try to explain what is the difference between the Torah, which was the beginning of everything, and then the Mishnah and Gemara and Talmud and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. With pleasure.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So it's very simple, basically. Well, not so simple, actually. But I'll try to make it really short and simple. Okay. So the Jews were in slavery, came out from Egypt, went to Mount Sinai, and we received the Torah. The Torah is the 5 books of Moses, okay? And it's written on a scroll. But according to tradition, at Mount Sinai, when Moses goes up to God and receives all these beautiful commandments, the Torah, the written law, he doesn't only receive the written law, but also the oral law. So all the interpretations that come with the Torah, he receives. So he comes down from the mountain, and the Jews wander in the desert and so on and so forth, and then go into the land of Israel and start living according to these laws. And they're reading the Torah, but the Torah is very concise. It's very, very, very dense. So many times it's like not clear. So if the Torah says this, what do I need to do? So the rabbis explain the written law to the people and saying that this means this and this means that. And the people go and live according to those laws. But then as time goes by, there's just so many of these oral traditions that it becomes really confusing. So at a certain point in time comes Yehuda Hanasi. He was called the prince, and he says, I'm going to write it down. So we have a codified book of law so that people can open it up, the rabbis can open it up, and he writes those down, all the oral traditions that he thinks should be in that compilation, and that's called the Mishnah. Okay, now imagine the Mishnah is like a university notebook. Okay, so I sit at the lectures and I write all the things that I think are important, and then you come along and you want to study from it. It's going to be really difficult for you because there'll be words and associations and stuff like that. So
it did really happen to me at the university a big time. I never took notes. I was
so you
really
understand.
Shitty in that. Yeah,
so that's how hard
fully, yeah.
It is to understand the Mishnah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did this rabbi actually mean by saying this? So how do I understand the Torah if the rabbi says this? So come the later rabbis and start explaining the Mishnah, which explains the Torah.
Yeah.
And that's basically the Mishnah and all the later explanations called the Gemara. And that's together is the Talmud, which is written down at around 400-500. Okay, so it's basically, that was the Torah, the written law. Then came the Mishnah, written down by the prince, Yehuda Hanasi. And then came the later rabbis, the Talmudic rabbis, the Amoraim, and that became the Gemara. And the Mishnah plus the Gemara together is the Talmud. Okay.
So how do we imagine? It's like it's a kind of an inflatable something. It's like, did it grow bigger and bigger? Like as we came from Talmud and we ended up, Torah, and then we ended up with the Talmud. So it's like huge now, right?
It's so basically the oral tradition, of course, grew. The Talmud was closed. Okay.
All right.
But even today, if somebody wants to know how should I do this or how should I do that, goes to his or her rabbi, and the rabbi will open up the Talmud and all the legal, the later legal books, and we'll try to find the answer. It's kind of like case law. Okay. So a precedent. I want to find a precedent. So for example, I have a friend who lives in Jerusalem, and he's an observant Jew. And when for the first time they bought a dishwasher and Passover came, Pesach, right? He didn't know what to do with the dishwasher, so it becomes kosher for Pesach. So he went to his rabbi. The rabbi opened up the Talmud and started looking for some kind of hints to understand what to do. So that's how it's basically an ongoing debate, right? It's a live thing, right? It's a dialogue that you become part of, and you try to understand what actually the rabbis are debating about and what's the solution, right? Like, so what's the decision at the end? Also, it has its renaissance today. Okay. There's a movement called Daf Yomi, where people who don't understand, like me, I really don't understand the depth of the Talmud, study daily the Talmud. Because first of all, it's a very good brain teaser. It's a good exercise. It's really not easy to study the Talmud. It's exciting. You get into this 1,000-year-old debate. It's like the first internet, because there are hyperlinks and stuff. Like if he says this, then you can have to go back and try to look. So it's really, really exciting. It's an amazing thing, and it has a lot to do with what you do, guys, like improvisation theater, because basically it interprets a lot of different things, and on the spot tries to understand how to understand this. How do I understand this? How does that rabbi understand this? And there's immediately kind of like a dialogue and the debate. No, that doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that. And it doesn't matter whether it's a debate in words or it's just a spontaneous game with the concept. It is very Talmudic.
Actually, it's fantastic to hear and to understand that this is still like a living thing, right? So there is still a reason to get into the pages of Talmud and try to understand what is in there. So the first challenge our players will have to face tonight would be to bring us some characters, as we heard all the story when the people were waiting at the foot of the mountain for Moses to come down. There was a crowd there, right? Probably. Let's just see a couple of characters who for sure were not there. So non-Talmudic characters, if I may put it that way. All right, let's see.
I'm sorry, Donald, but
Janet.
There are a lot of people asking about you here, and I cannot say that, like, I cannot really tell the truth. I'm trying to lie that you're not the president of the ex-president. Sorry. So I'm trying to say that you're not the ex-president of the United States, but they kind of know. So, like, your hair.
Do you have a hat?
Hello, I'm Steve, and we got you this new tablet for the next time. You know, you can record audio as well, and it's gonna be...
Arnold, Mr. Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
if you could just put down those stones, it will be.
I will put down those stones, yeah.
It's a little bit disrespectful, you know, and I know you're very strong, but we
I
can-
was thinking I will hold these stones and then we'll make a picture.
Excuse me, you should really let me in. I mean, Foursquare tells that this is the location there where I'm supposed to be, so...
Frank, this is a beautiful safe. Before we break it, I will need to call the rabbi if there's any prayer.
Well, we can ask that later.
No, I'm not touching it before I check with the rabbi.
Okay.
Hi, so this is just gonna be my show tonight, and I would like to ask if you want to start with the Hit Me Baby one more time.
I don't care that you are Harry Potter. I don't believe in magic. Okay?
You
And
don't believe in magic?
No.
Actually, just look what's gonna happen in a few months, years.
So exactly like that, right? So
Absolutely.
Harry Potter and all that kind of fictional characters, yeah, fantastic. Humor,
Yeah.
jokes. Okay. That being the actual topic of tonight's of tonight's show.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, I mean, you brought us stories.
Yes,
Um,
I did.
Yeah, let's start with the first.
Okay.
Let's not waste more
So just-
words and more time. Just go ahead.
All right, let's start
Let's
with the
hit it,
first.
let's hit it.
And I'm really curious how you will find the humor. Okay, so
Yeah.
the story goes about Rav Yehuda. Okay, so we will hear a lot of rabbinic names. Don't worry about that. So the Talmud is talking about Rav Yehuda, who is teaching Torah to his son. Now, that's something very, very Jewish to teach Torah to your son, especially if you're a father. And they come to this verse from the Ecclesiastes, which is the Kohelet, one of the books of the Bible. And the verse says, "And I find more bitter than death the woman." So his son, who is an eager learner, says, "Okay, but tell me, Father, an example. For example, whom? Like, I find more bitter than death the woman. For example, whom?" So his father replies, "For example, your mother."
I think we all get that. Isn't that male chauvinist a bit?
Well, let's play with it and I'll tell you.
All right, okay. So, for the next scene, I'm going to ask for your input. So, please be prepared and get your fingers on the keyboard. Could you please just type in a relationship, okay, that could be between a male and a female, not necessarily marriage. That could also be one possibility, but any kind of relationship would help us out. In the next scene, I'm going to start a countdown from 60 seconds. And while you have the 60 seconds, please type your inputs into the chat. Thank you. Wow, even the first comment that I'm getting from you guys is like, well, they're embarrassing me. So yeah, let's just keep the sadomasochistic relationship between a man and a woman. Okay, there are many more coming in. Business partners, okay. Let me just take one. Okay, I love the one that we got from Adrienne, hairstylist and the client. Okay, so that is our input for the next scene. And this is going to be a Half-Life scene. You will see how it works. I'm not going to explain, but because it's much more difficult to explain than to actually watch. Dasha.
Do you think it's enough?
Well, the color is not perfect, but I think it's enough. Can we? I want to see. You wanted to be an actress?
Jesus.
Isn't that beautiful?
I mean, this is the hair. This is like.
Yeah.
I am gonna seduce the half world with that. Let me try.
You can. Yeah. Okay. You can do it, but I can
What?
do better. You can do it. Yeah. You can touch it, but it's okay. If you have a problem with your hair, then you can do mine. But
I'm saying mine is good. What
Really?
are you doing here? This is my place. Don't take
this
it.
This is my place.
So this is going to seduce everybody, right?
Well, mostly.
What?
You are sexy.
No, you promised me that it's gonna seduce everybody.
You are. I'm telling you, you are. So
Don't lie.
sexy.
Don't lie to me. Tell the truth. Who I'm not gonna seduce with that?
Your mother.
That was exactly 1 minute, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So now you're gonna have 30 seconds to play the same scene. And it starts now.
Hey. Okay. Do you think it's enough?
I think, yeah, the color is a little problem, but otherwise
What?
I think it's good.
Let me see. Oh,
Isn't it good?
it is sexy.
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna seduce everybody. Can I seduce
Yeah,
you?
I think. No, you can do, if you don't like it.
I don't want to do your hair. Go
You
away
can-
from here. That's my place. Can I seduce everybody? Tell
I
me. Tell
think
me.
you can. This is my place, and that is your hair.
What?
Whatever.
There
I'm
is an
just-
underlying meaning. Tell me who I'm not gonna seduce now.
The only person you're not gonna be able to seduce, I think, is your mom.
Okay, fine. I was just waiting for that punchline. It was actually 33 seconds.
No
but that's
way.
fine.
No
We
way.
are so sorry.
Okay. So now,
Let me get this.
15 seconds.
15.
To do 15 seconds to play the same scene. Reset this. And the 15 seconds start now.
Okay, enough.
You are
I want to
so
see.
sexy.
I want to see.
Yeah, beautiful. Now let me sit down here. If you want to do my hair,
sexy.
if you don't want to do my
I
hair,
don't wanna do
yeah,
your
this is
hair.
my
I
place.
just told
The
you.
only person you'll not be able to seduce is your mom.
I knew that.
That was it. Okay, we needed that. I knew that. You guys,
So fast.
the next level, 5 seconds. Which starts now.
Your mom will hate it.
I know. Why?
That was it. And now the last one. You guys have
1 second.
second. Do it now. That was it. That wasn't really male chauvinist, was it? I mean, the scene itself.
No, I don't think
No,
it
like
was.
they changed
Yeah,
like
yeah.
roles and
Roles and
positions
stuff.
as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were about to tell us about the original story, right?
Right. So, so actually, the Talmud comes to the conclusion that Rav Yehuda's wife was aggressive and forceful, but was easily appeased. And also, as I learned from a rabbi friend of mine, Rabbi Balla, it's also about basically the quote that they're reading from Kohelet. Kohelet is a very lethargic, very depressing book of the Bible. And you also need to dig deeply to find meaning in it, the complex meaning. And it's like a relationship. So each relationship is really complex, and you really need to dig deep to find the meaning you're looking for.
Nice. The next story is also like about at least a starting relationship between someone, right? Between two people.
Yes.
Male and female.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's hear about that.
Okay, so the story goes about Rabbi Yosef from Galilee, the Galilean he's called, and he is going on the road and he's meeting Bruria. Now, the Talmud is quite a patriarchic book, like it's full of men, and the very, very few women are named. One of the few women named in the Talmud is Bruria, because she was brilliant. She was the wife of Rabbi Meir, and she was supposed to be a really wise woman. So he meets Rabbi Yosef Galilee, meets Bruria, and starts asking her, how can I get to this certain town called Lod? Lod is where the airport is today in Israel, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
it's the center of Israel. So Bruria says to him, you stupid Galilean, you don't know very well how you should talk to a woman, because the rabbis say that you should use as few words with a woman as you can. So you should have asked how to Lod. Okay, only
That's
three
it,
words.
right?
Yeah. So that's the story basically, and yeah, and you can find irony in it, or you can find it's a really serious story. It's up to you really to decide. But I like to read it in a way that Bruria is making fun of this whole thing, that you should not use a lot of words with women.
I'm just going to tell you a secret, actually. And this is the funniest parts of this show and the whole rehearsal and the whole process we've gone through. Like the moment when Fritzi ends with the story, but we have no idea that it's over. We don't know. We are just waiting. Okay, so what's going to happen now? But actually now I think we got the point that was at the end. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so we are going to play a game that is called Tight-Lipped. For that scene to start, I'm going to need your inputs. Could you please type in to the chat window situations where 4 people can be together, like a family gathering, or I don't know, like a meeting in a school where the parents get together to discuss something with the teachers. So any situation like that where 4 people can meet. And while you are doing that, we are going to hand out these beautiful numbers on these beautiful green notes to our players. There are numbers on the notes from 1 to 4, and actually, could you please just give it to Lutza? Thank you. And those numbers would represent the number of words that the actual player can use in a sentence in the following scene. So let's just see the numbers. If we can switch to our players. So Lutza, you are going to have 4 words in a sentence. Patty, 1. Lucky you. Shotzi, 3 words, and Gergő, 2 words. All right, so those are the number of words that you can use. We are already getting some inputs. Oh yeah, these are fantastic, and thanks very much for being so active. This helps a lot. So we have funeral, Pesach Seder, thermal bath, traveling to the sea in a car. Oh, really good, really good, really good. I think I love that. I love that. The basketball team looking for the 5th player. I think this is hilarious. This is fantastic. So in the next scene, our players are going to play a basketball team who are looking for the 5th player.
Where is he?
Where is Joshua?
Late.
He can't be late. It's time to play.
He's gone.
Let me
Gone
see
forever?
there.
I think.
Like gone forever?
I think.
Are you kidding me?
No. No.
No.
I have an idea. Maybe I have one.
Tell us.
Which?
Joshua is a little shy.
Short.
He is.
Short.
He's also short.
Short.
So maybe he hid, I think, underneath that
I'll go.
What?
Let's just play.
I don't want to.
Why?
Not without Joshua.
Why?
A cat. No Joshua.
Oh, that is sweet.
Small.
You wrote that?
I found.
Tiny.
Let's just play.
Not
Oh.
without Joshua, no.
Why?
Joshua is gone.
I miss him already.
Why?
Because he is little.
Short.
We are in love.
No.
They are.
Yes, we are
I've seen.
lovers.
Why?
You have seen?
Yes.
We invited him to.
You didn't tell?
No! Surprise!
He is great secret keeper.
I was.
You are now too.
I
I
told.
don't care.
Ball.
Where is he?
Late.
Maybe he fears you
And you.
and me. No, no,
Yes.
no, no, no,
Let's just
no.
play.
His.
Oak.
He loves me much.
The cat!
And Joshua is there!
Thank God this is theater and this is not really about math, right? Like counting the words and all that kind of stuff. So nothing bad will happen to the players if they can't actually just count the correct number of words. Does basketball have anything to do with Jewish traditions?
I'm sure everything has to do with Jewish tradition.
That was a very much unexpected question,
The Jewish
right?
faith is like bouncing, you know. It's like it's a lot of bouncing. And somebody's always hitting you down.
Okay.
It's to be a Jew. Well,
Okay. So, like, privacy starting between these characters, Joshua and the lover. And the next story is about a very private situation, place, sort of thing.
it is a very, very, very private situation.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to hear the story?
Yeah, please.
All right, so the story goes about Rabbi Akiva, who was a very famous rabbi of the Talmud. He says, I once entered the bathroom after my teacher, and I learned 3 things from observing his behavior, okay? I learned that one should not do, is it number 1 or number 2?
2.
That one should not do number 2 while facing east and west, but rather facing north and south. I learned that one should not uncover himself while standing, but while sitting out of modesty. And I learned that one should not wipe with his right hand, but with his left. Ben Azai, his student, looks at him and says, like, how could you do that to your teacher? So he says, this is Torah, and I must learn. Okay, so the story repeats itself with Ben Azai doing the same thing, actually. And then the story goes on and tells about a different rabbi, Rav Kahana, who goes and enters a very famous rabbi's bedroom, Rav's bedroom, and hides down under his bed. Okay, lies down under his bed. And he hears Rav chatting and laughing with his wife and seeing to his needs. So Rav Kahana said to Rav is like one who has never eaten a cooked dish, meaning something like his behavior is very lustful. And Rav said to Rav Kahana, you are here? Leave, as this is an undesirable mode of behavior. And Rav Kahana says the same thing. This is Torah, and I must learn.
That's the end of it. This is my favorite, actually. I love it.
Nothing really ends in the Talmud.
Yeah,
Okay? So it's like you could go on and on, pages and pages, and then they go on tangents and tangents of tangents.
This actually, how would you put it, like euphemism,
Euphemism.
Euphemism, thank you.
Euphemism.
Seeing to his needs. Is that like typical? Because I love it. I love the term seeing to his needs.
Yes. First of all, the Talmud is
that
never
happen a lot?
vulgar. Okay, so here the bathroom is called bet kiseh, right? Like the room of the chair. That's how you call it. Even in Israel, older people would say bet kiseh. Today you say sharutim, but yeah, older people would say bet kiseh. So the room of the chair. Okay, so the Talmud is never vulgar. And uses a lot of euphemisms, you're right, and uses really nice language, because the idea is that we want you to understand how to live your life, and that's, it's not about, when we go into miniature things like that, and even things that are very profane, we still do that because it's part of life, and we need to tell you how to live your life.
Of course. Lovely. Okay, so based on that story, the situation I'm going to give you guys, I'm not going to ask for an input now. Show us a handful of things, okay, that you do not want to see or meet when you are after someone in a bathroom.
Oh, I found the cat.
I don't want to move in here, Joshua. Really. So it's a small place, and I don't want to talk to you through a camera all the time. Really.
Oh, so there's no window here? Oh.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
But come in.
Yeah.
Sit
Sure,
down.
Sure.
Feel yourself at home.
Yeah. Would you just turn a bit more?
What do you mean?
A bit. I want to do my thing.
You
Thank
good?
you. Yeah, I'm good.
Can I turn back?
No, I'm in good that I can do it now.
Yeah, but can I stay?
No, you can stay.
Good. Can I
But
listen?
don't say. No, you can listen. No, you can't listen.
So
Shut your ears.
I can't do that. I need to be with you all the time. I mean,
Yeah, it's very bad to be a prime minister.
I am Lucia Sabo Sontag. I am a Budapest citizen, and I came to the bathroom on the 28th of February 2021 to do my thing. Yes, Big Brother, thank you very much for allowing me to do so.
Wow! Free pills. That's great.
Definitely not the pills, right? Oh, well, it depends. I mean, I wouldn't dare, never, to touch anything like that.
But I think it's really genius, by the way, like that. You know, it's like really, you wouldn't want your student to come after you to your bathroom, right? But still, it's that's how you learn hygiene, and the rabbis really took it very seriously to have to really teach everything about really saint things and holy things, and also really profane things. So
No, actually, this just came to mind, but it really, I was not even conscious for that. But it does happen to me. I have a son who is like 2 years old, and you can't leave him alone, right? He's coming. So, I mean, there is no chance that you just tell him, okay, you stay out. He's not staying out, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get used to it. And this is how they learn, right? I mean,
exactly,
even babies.
because the
and-
example, the experience, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. It's actually in a part called Derech Eretz in the Talmud, and the Derech Eretz is something that the rabbis thought very important to include, which is about like really how to behave. Like it's not really a lot of laws. It's more like this is how you should do it, because this is how one behaves in the world. And I find it fascinating. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, no, I totally agree, and I wish, or we all wish, actually, if we would really live to that, right? So, or the way they said it. Property. And whose property or whose business it is? Something along those lines?
Well,
that's the next sort of topic.
It's more about how micro you should go into details, I would say. But yeah, it's actually about the rabbis are discussing about a dove. If a dove falls from a dovecote. A dovecote is like the pigeon house, right? So if it falls from dovecote, when is it something that should belong to the pigeon house, and when can you take it, right?
Okay, so the dove is?
It's like a young pigeon. It's
a young pigeon. Okay, like so for those
who
don't know,
about
I have no idea about
young
it. So,
pigeon,
it's a young
okay,
pigeon. Yeah.
which is found on the ground within 50 cubits of a coat, the dove coat of his house. Okay, 50 cubits is about 25 meters. Okay, so then this pigeon belongs to the owner of this pigeon house. If it's found beyond 50 cubits, then it belongs to the person who finds it. Okay. So that's fine. They're discussing this at length, and they're discussing actually that it's actually a chicken that hops, so it doesn't fly yet, just hops around and whatever. And they go into all these details.
Is it a valuable thing? Like, does it worth a lot?
Everything is worth a lot. Because it's like, if you can make money from it, even then it's worth a lot. Of course, it worth a lot. So comes Rabbi Yeremiah and raises a question. Now that's what the Talmud does, like you raise questions. So comes the rabbi and says, what about if one of his leg is within 50 cubits and the other beyond 50 cubits? Then how do we decide? So actually the end of story is that they kick Rabbi Yeremiah from the house of study. You wonder why.
They just can't deal with that, right?
Yeah, right.
So getting that much into this.
Seriously, you're asking us this question? I mean, come on. Yeah. You're making fun of us, rabbis.
Okay. Okay, so based on this little
what
story,
do you do with this story?
Yeah, actually, we are going to play a game that is called Forward Rewind. And for that, I'll need your input. Now this rabbi who were like trying to go against the stream, right? So against the majority. So he was like asking this question, reminded me of characters like that. So if you could just give us a famous fictional characters who were famous of doing something against the commonality, or like characters with super capabilities, and maybe a sidekick for them as well. What I'm referring to here, like, is that I don't know, like Don Quixote and what was his sidekick, Sancho Panza. So we would need for next year we would need characters like that. If you could please just give us some in the chat, that would be fantastic. We are going to give 60 seconds for you for that. Thank you. Batman and Robin. Oh, Jesus, that's even more. No, let's take the other one. Dr. Frankenstein and the monster. Here called Igor or Igor, but it's Frankenstein and the monster, and probably the bride of Frankenstein as well. We don't know, but let's see how the story goes.
It's done. Master.
Hello.
Hello.
Rewind.
Hello. Master.
It's done.
Forward.
It's done.
Master. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry.
Rewind.
Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Forward.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry. Oh. Master. You okay?
No.
Let me help you.
Rewind.
Let me help you. You're okay.
No.
Master.
Forward.
You're okay.
No.
Let me help you. Food.
Rewind to the beginning.
Food. You're okay. Let me help you.
No.
Master. Hello.
Hello.
Master.
You're alive.
I did miss the bride, but
Well,
I mean, I just loved it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Does it happen?
that's what the Talmud is about. It's a back and forth. It's a back and forth. It's a back and forth, and it's actually so you would think that the irony is actually, or the whole story is about Rabbi Yirmiyah saying, "Come on, guys! I mean, seriously." We're going into such details. Okay, so then let's discuss. How about one leg is here and one leg is there? But I'm not sure actually that it's irony. It's actually the rabbis say that it's, or my rabbi friend said that it's because the measurements in the Talmud are absolute. So that's why they say, come on, you're out of the house of study. But the truth is that that it was only temporarily, and he got back.
Oh, I see.
And he was very famous for his questions and for his micro attention to little things also.
Anyhow, like traditional Judaism is really famous of having rules for everything, right? So into the very details, how you need to store your food in the refrigerator and all that kind of stuff. So it's really like
Yes,
everything is in between somehow burdens.
Because this is a religion of action. You like all the laws, all the mitzvot. That's what the Talmud is interested in. Okay, what are the laws? How do I do it? It's less about philosophy. Of course, there is philosophy in it, but it's more about the actual doing. What do I do? How do I do this? And it's like, okay, so if you start doing that, if you read law and legal things, you will understand that also law starts to go into very little tiny details, because the question will arise.
Oh, we know. Okay, time is running, but I think we have time for 2 more stories, right?
Yeah.
Let's hear the next one about the prayer.
Okay, so this is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
And it's one of my favorites because I remember my grandfather in the 1980s saying this anecdote that in the newspaper there is this story that in Moscow they are giving out Volgas. Okay, and the next day comes the correction. It's not in Moscow, but in Leningrad, and it's not Volgas, but Moskviches, and they're not giving out; they're robbing. And in Hungarian, it's much better because osztogatnak and fosztogatnak. So just
Such
listen.
a classic, right?
Yeah. So listen to this story. It's Rabbi Zaira, and you will hear now a lot of rabbinic names, but it's important. Okay. So Rabbi Zaira said that Rabbi Asi said that Rabbi Eleazar said that Rabbi Hanina said that Rav said. Next to this specific pillar before me, Rabbi Ishmael, son of Rabbi Yossi, prayed the Shabbat prayer on the eve of Shabbat before nightfall. But then Ula comes from Eretz Israel to Babylonia, and he said that he had heard that it was a palm tree, not a pillar. And it was not Rabbi Ishmael, son of Rabbi Yosef, but it was Rabbi Eleazar, son of Rabbi Yosef. And it was not the Shabbat prayer on the Shabbat eve, rather it was the prayer of the conclusion of Shabbat on Shabbat. So isn't that story, right? It's exactly that
100%
story.
match. Yeah, it really is. I'm wondering if it's the base of it or something like that. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. And actually, we did find a game which perfectly fits this story. This is a naive game. In improv theater, we play lots of naive games. In naive games, one of the players would not have all the information that everyone else knows. So, for the naive game, one of you dear actors, Shotzi, thank you very much. Please leave the studio so you would not hear the information that we are getting from our dear audience. Dear audience, what we need from you is a thing the other actor who is going to play in this scene is very much expert of. So the player is going to give us a presentation in a foreign language, maybe in a gibberish foreign language, about a certain thing. Maybe this is something that he or she discovered or she invented. She is absolutely an expert of that certain thing, and we are going to hear an interpreter interpreting the presentation, of course, without knowing what it is about. So please put some items or inventions or discoveries into the chat. We are giving 60 seconds for that to you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the next scene we are going to see a lady who is an expert in making a specific kind of milkshake, okay? And the presentation is going to be in what language?
African gibberish.
African gibberish language.
Some sort of an African gibberish.
Let's see.
When a donkey is born, it's very, very important to put him in a safe space. When you turn his or her neck, and after that you put it under his or her mother to start breastfeeding. When it's done, you hit the bottom of the donkey to just let the digestive start. It's very important that if you have many donkeys from a different mother, it's okay then to feed them from the same mother. But if they don't start feeding themselves, then you should never force it. Just if you're thirsty, you can as well try the donkey's breast milk. It's delicious.
So this is about interpretation and misinterpretation, right? Donkey's milk. Oh yeah, for sure.
But if you think about the story, by the way, then it's the Talmudic fake news, right? So it's
actually true.
And why I said at the beginning that I want your patience with all the rabbis' names, because I find it endearing that they're really trying to keep this chain of tradition and to mention all the rabbis that they learned them from. Yeah. So even if they're not really successful in actually having the story right, but they're still trying.
And this is like also showing respect, right?
Yeah,
to those guys who were just transferring the knowledge all the way down.
So it's very important that you name all the rabbis that you learn it from.
All right. The last story of tonight.
Oh yeah.
And after that, the last scene. So what is this about? Because honestly, I totally forgot to note this one down.
Oh, okay. So this is all right. So it's about a concept called hefker. I need to explain a little. This is something that the Talmud talks at length about. Hefker is when an object is lost. So, for example, I drop your bell, right?
Oh, please
or
don't.
You drop your bell and you walk away and you don't notice. When is this bell still yours, and when is this bell somebody else's who picks it up? Okay. So this is called hefker, and this story is about hefker mostly. So Rabbi Ishmael was walking on the road when he meets this man carrying a load of sticks, a lot of sticks. So the man is tired, puts the sticks down, rests, and then sees Rabbi Ishmael and says, "Load me up, like put it on me." It's because actually there is a Torah law that says that if you see somebody, you need to help him load, even if it's your enemy, by the way. But this was a rabbi. So Rabbi Ishmael, who was, according to the story and to history, was quite rich, a wealthy rabbi, but also kind of obese, overweight. Okay, so he asked this guy, "So how much are these sticks worth? Tell me." So the man answered, "Half a zuz." Yeah, that was zuz is a Talmudic
currency.
Right? Currency. So Rabbi Ishmael pays him the half zuz and says, "Hefker," meaning I declare these sticks ownerless. Okay, so anyone who takes them can take them and is not a thief. All right, he thought that he solved it, and he now doesn't have
Done and dusted, yeah.
Doesn't have to load the sticks.
Okay.
So the man said, "I claim ownership of these ownerless sticks. It's mine. Now load me up." Okay. So Rabbi Ishmael says, "You're not going to do this with me. I'm going to give you another half zuz, and I again declare the sticks ownerless." So he sees that he still didn't succeed, because sees that the man is about to claim them again, and then he adds, "I have declared the sticks ownerless, hefker, except to you." Okay? So the rabbis actually ask, can something be declared ownerless with a condition? And they answer, okay, I'll tell you what they answer afterwards.
So let's just imagine the situation, okay, that somebody goes somewhere, right, like on a road and finds something. This is the base situation for the next and for the last scene. I need your inputs again. Can you please give us a profession? This could be anything, maybe yours, or a profession that you come across during your everyday life, or you just had the plumber fixing your sink today. Anything that comes to mind, the player, the character of the next scene is going to have that profession. While you put that into the chat, the countdown from 60 seconds will start. Okay, so imagine a beggar, okay, beggar walking the street. Do you know what beggar is? Yeah. Am I saying the right word? Is it the right way? The beggar, a very poor man, like asking for money. Okay, walks the street, finds something, and God's voice is going to come through that certain thing and would ask this beggar to do something or for something. Let's see how the scene goes. So we need a beggar, please.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, Claire.
Sweet.
Ooh. Hey, Claire. I am. Don't drop me now, Claire. Pick me up. Pick me up, or I will struck you with lightning. Claire. Don't cry. It's me. Don't cry. Claire! Do you know why you came across me? You can name me by my name. I am...
Charlie?
Not Charlie. Don't guess.
Oh, sorry.
Just feel it. You are at the moment. Do you see the light on your head?
What?
Why would you? It's on your head.
What is on my head?
The light from heavens.
Look, I don't really need you, so I can just leave you here for someone
You
else.
stop questioning
Don't
the
worry,
Lord.
Don't worry, it's all good. I mean, I can buy a beer without you, so just thank you very
Claire,
much.
stop. You used to be smart and beautiful and with full of thoughts
That's true.
and future plans.
Yeah, but then the system changed.
Why did it change, Claire? Pick me up because I'm on the floor. Someone will pick me up and will take me.
Okay.
And then I need to come back in the form of a different thing.
Okay, look, can we just can I pay with you and then this relationship is kind of, over?
Claire, you can use this coin who I am currently.
What?
Do anything you wish.
What?
But you need to learn the lesson.
Okay, I'm kind of trying for
Try to stop eating while I am talking to you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be
Claire.
disrespectful. 200 forints.
Remember what you promised your father.
What? Wait. You know what I promised to my father?
I kind of know pretty much everything.
Oh my lord! I mean,
Exactly.
But I didn't want to go against the promise. You gotta know. I tried to keep it. I really tried to keep it. But then the guy came, and then I kind of like couldn't have any other choices, and like I couldn't have to go.
Claire,
I'm sorry.
now you have the chance to fulfill what you promised to your father.
I want to fulfill my promise to
If you throw me,
yeah.
rather,
I want to. I mean,
this coin
what?
into the water
Yeah.
next to the Danube.
Where? What, into the Danube or next to the
Next
Danube?
to the Danube.
Okay, but which water then? The Danube is water too.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's not the Danube.
Yeah, okay.
Next to the Danube.
Okay.
Right to the bridge. There's a little pond.
Yeah. Okay, can you stop shouting? Like, can you just...
This is my voice.
Okay, sorry.
Excuse me, miss.
Hey, ho. I get like no
Is there a
money,
problem, or
No.
I mean, like, can I help
Sorry.
you with something?
I'm all good.
I will struck him with the lightning.
Just waiting for-
Now.
Do not mess with the Almighty.
Do not.
Could there be the punchline of today's show?
Absolutely. And of any show, basically.
Okay, so that was it
Wait,
for
I
tonight.
didn't finish.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh Jesus, I forgot that. Sorry. Go ahead.
The punchline. You're waiting for the punchline, right? So the rabbi asked, can you actually declare something ownerless, have care with a condition attached that it applies? And they say no. But Rabbi Ishmael had to stop the man, and so he did. Now that is the punchline.
That is the punchline. Yeah, actually, yeah, I love that. You have to finish at the top, right? That's what they say. So thanks very much for being with us tonight. That was our today's show of Talmud Now, Talmud on Stage. Fritzi, thanks so much for being here with us, and that was just fantastic. And I do really hope that we will have other occasions where we can meet again and do another show. Maybe in person somewhere, who knows, around the world. Thanks very much for the players for being here with us. Patty, Gergő, Shotzi, and Luca. Thank you guys, that was fantastic. Thanks for all the crew who was here helping us. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Nandi, Csaba, the other Patty, Oliver. Thanks very much. Thank you, Borcha, for doing the commentary and everything, and for organizing the whole event, by the way. And again, let me just point your attention to the fact that there is a donation link in the description of the event. Talmud.hu/donation. Is there anything else I need to say?
Goodbye. Thank you.
I think that was it. So thanks very much. See you soon. Follow us on Facebook, Talmud Now. Itt és most Improka Momentán. Follow everything on Facebook. Well, maybe not everything, but definitely these improv companies and the Talmud Now as well. And have a beautiful rest of your evening. Thanks very much. Good night.